if you don't get it, then get the out of Philly.
Castellanos, high fly ball, way back.
In from this side, who else? That baby Chubb.
Here's McConnell, can he get it off? Yes! Fumbles the football and the Eagles have it.
Jared McKinney making it rain.
Wayne Simmons wins it for Philadelphia.
Long drive. This game is over.
All right, we are back here today with another episode of Philly Talk, and we actually have a lot to get into, so, just gonna get right into things. First off, I have to mention it because I've had it here in my notes, and I just somehow keep letting it slip. Yes, there is a new intro to really encapsulate all four teams. Just a bunch of random clips. That's the thing with me. I could go for more iconic moments, but I always tend to choose whatever just sticks out to me. I know it's random for me. I do miss some of the clips from the old one, but this is the new one I went with to really encapsulate all four. But speaking of which, we have a lot to talk about with, 3 out of the 4. Not much to say on the Flyers right now, but there's a lot of stuff that's been happening with the other 3 teams. And we're actually going to start with the Eagles versus Commanders game. I know I usually finish off with the Eagles stuff, but we're actually going to open up with it. A complete team loss that this one was. I know people are going all around trying to point fingers, trying to, blame one person, blame one side of the team. To me, this was just a total team loss to me. Not really much more to say about it. I know that's crazy to say it's a complete team loss when the defense forces 5 turnovers. And yeah, I do give the defense props for forcing 5 turnovers. I do recognize that a lot of the fault does fall on the offense for the fact that they could not capitalize fully on a lot of those. Was it the pick or the fumble? One of those where they ended up punting afterwards, I think. Very frustrating to watch, that's not what you want to see. Let's see. Yeah, okay, here it was. It was in the second where Brian Robinson fumbles, recovered by Cooper DeJean, and they basically went 3 and out because there was a pass so they had a big old play. I remember that Kenny Pickett pass to AJ for 45 yards. Then there was a penalty on the next one, false start. Then they tried to rush with Saquon Barkley. Then short pass, then an incomplete pass, and they end up punting. And it's you got the ball back and you punted, But obviously that was a bit closer to their side. I mean, they did get into Washington territory, but they ended up punting. Yeah, and that's how this game played out a lot. Was just bunch of turnovers and yet just couldn't capitalize. And obviously the big thing is that Jalen did go down, went out, and they had to rely on Kenny Pickett. Now, here's my thing. See a lot of Eagles fans complaining, a lot of Eagles fans saying, if Jalen was in this game, it wouldn't be close, you're celebrating beating Kenny Pickett and all that. Here's what I will say. Would this game have been different if Jalen was in the game? More than likely. I mean, we saw they were actually cooking in that first quarter with Jalen in. At least that first drive. That first drive, they did really well. And then, of course, they fumbled. Jalen Carter forced the fumble. It was recovered by Nolan Smith. And they were driving their way down the field. They got all the way downfield. And it was when Jalen got tackled that they went down. But they still ended up scoring with Kenny Pickett. So it's they were already up 14-0. Then they went up. Let's see. Kenny Pickett threw a pick. Then they scored, yeah. Saquon, 68-yard touchdown. Bright spot. So they were up what was that, 21-7. So it's like, do I believe that with Jalen Hurts in the game, this game isn't close, or Jalen Daniels and the Commanders could have made it close, but like with the way they were playing, would it have ended differently? More than likely, but I'm not the type of guy to play hypotheticals and what ifs. And I especially find it hypocritical for our own fans to be saying stuff like this, but then those same fans were giving all the flack to Niner fans for their hypotheticals of, oh, well, if Brock Purdy doesn't get injured and stays in that game, it's different. It's like, I find it kind of hypocritical to, start using this, oh, our quarterback was injured, when, you spent the last 2 years going at it with Niner fans for that same sort of hypothetical, so that's just me. You guys know me, I choose not to sort of engage in such thinkings, because to me, I believe that this performance from Kenny Pickett was obviously bad, but to me it's on the organization for not really prioritizing backup quarterback better. Because to me, it's like, we remember when the Kenny Pickett trade happened, I was confused by it. I was like, that doesn't really make sense to me. I know there's not really many backup quarterbacks in the league that you could really rely upon, I guess, if you want to say. Like, there are some that you can trust to go in during garbage time and just keep things running. There's some that you can rely upon when your starter goes down for maybe a drive to go in there and just buy some time, or even maybe fill in for a game or two. But it's like, there's not really many that you can like fully rely upon, I guess I would say, because I mean, that's the point of a backup quarterback, But to me, it's just, Kenny doesn't really fit the system that they run, So it's like, I don't know why they didn't go with a quarterback that better fit that. And to me, I don't like to use the injury excuse, because I know it's kind of lame that I always bring it up, but it's like, that whole Super Bowl run that the Eagles went on, the mentality was always next man up. When injuries happened, it was next man up. Carson Wentz goes down, Nick Foles is here to step up. Jason Peters goes down, it's up to the rest of the line to pick it up. I can't remember if Big V played left tackle for Peters, or was he still at right tackle? I don't remember. Darren Sproles went down. They had a ton more running backs that they could choose from. They had options. And yeah, that's kind of my thinking, is like, you have to have depth, and so this was kind of just that sign that, like, I know it's only one game, but it's like, Kenny to me just doesn't really fit that system. And so like, that goes on the org for not really prioritizing their depth well. And especially, we're seeing it right now with the Lions, that they just keep rolling despite all their injuries. It's like, we can't be using the injury excuse, people. We just can't, On the offense, like I said, a couple big plays, but they also failed at the simple ones, like Kenny Pickett was out there making big old plays to AJ, but then was also missing certain plays, throwing behind them. Saquon had that big old play, but in the second half was kind of quiet, and that's really a nod to the Washington defense for being able to adjust, especially because it's like, you don't have to worry about Jalen Hurts running. You could just fully focus on Saquon. Saquon still finished the game with 150 yards, but the majority of that came in the first half, I want to say, which is, kind of surprising given that we're so used to him having second half rushing yards. But yeah, Saquon had 2 touchdowns, 150 yards on the day. Real good game from him. AJ went off 97 yards on 8 catches and a touchdown. Biggest was that 45 one. Devontae Smith, 51 yards, 6 touchdowns. Imagine 6 catches. But of course, the main thing that we remember from Devontae Smith from this game is that catch. That catch, not the catch, the drop. Bad, very costly, could have easily iced the game. But I need people to stop thinking that one singular play affects a game. Like, I saw this one guy on TikTok saying that, saying the opposite, that people need to realize that one singular play affects a game. It doesn't, because to me, it shouldn't have come down to that, It's the same way I was talking about with the Saquon Barkley one. It's like, it shouldn't come down to that. The Saquon one was different because, in my opinion, why are you even passing at that point, You should be running the ball with your running back at that time. But with this catch, or this play and this drop. Is the blame on Smithy? Yes. Smithy's one of the most reliable hands in the game. Should have had that. Should have iced the game. But he doesn't. He drops it. They aren't able to capitalize. I think they only get a field goal out of it. Yeah. And to me, it's like, okay, what does that put us up? 33-28. If you were scored there, it's 37-28. Actually, let's see. Yeah, even if they got the 2-point conversion, they would have still been down 1 probably, right? Yeah, because they did get the 2-point. Yeah, it would have been 30. Oh, well, yeah, see? It does make a difference if you're able to score there rather than get a field goal. Maybe you also put that on the play calling. I know it's kind of dangerous. I mean, you're up 33-28 in the Washington. You don't want to give them the ball back with, 2 minutes left. But I don't know. I think my dad kind of said it best, where it's like Jake. Jake obviously had a pretty good day. He did. I think. Did he miss one field goal? I think he missed a field goal, right? Yeah, he missed a field goal. Glad to have seen him make so many. Obviously, you wish you could have gotten that other one that he missed. But I don't know, 4th and 5 in that situation, seeing that Devontae Smith just almost caught that 4th and 5, I don't know. Sirianni has dialed it back on the aggression, which a lot of us have appreciated, but maybe in instances like this, like you're always like, man, I want, what's the way to put it? You want him to be aggressive when it's the right time, and this just almost seemed like the right time, especially because they picked off Jaden Daniels. Reed Blankenship got that interception. You have to capitalize on that, So to me, it's like you've seen AJ doing pretty well throughout the game. I don't know, 4th and 5. Why not call like a slant or just some type of pass to them? Maybe like Saquon can get something going. Maybe not in a run, but like in the passing game, out in the flat, just something. Like I'm trying to think of just maybe being more aggressive. There is basically what I'm trying to say. Because 4th and 5. You only have, what is that, 5-point lead? I don't know. I mean, they still ended up going down and getting a touchdown, but like, I don't know. I just think in my eyes, you'd be a little bit more aggressive there. But getting back to the main point, I don't think you blame Devontae Smith for that drop. You blame him, but you don't put like the sole loss on him. I don't think he deserves the full loss when the offense was struggling mainly because of Kenny Pickett, and the defense, they forced 5 turnovers, but they also let up 36 points, with a majority of those coming in the second half. 22 alone in the 4th quarter, which again could be because of the fact that the offense wasn't doing much, forcing the defense to be on the field more, but they were still forcing turnovers. So again, it goes majority on the offense, because like, we're going out there and forcing turnovers. Yes, we let up a couple of touchdowns, but it's like we're forcing the turnovers. It's reliant upon you to take advantage and keep that score out of range for them to catch up. There was something else I was gonna say, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, our team pulled an Uno reverse card on us by scoring all those points in the first quarter and then only getting field goals after. We kept talking about, the Eagles can't score in the first quarter. They put up 21 in the first and then decided to only put up 6 in the third, 6 in the fourth, nothing in the second. This team continues to find ways to confuse me, and I've been saying it the past couple of games. This team needs to be more disciplined. I will go out and say, I know a lot of people think it's Eagles bias, but I think Chauncey's ejection was pure BS and a soft call from the refs. I still, no one can figure out why exactly he got ejected. No one can figure out why he got unsportsmanlike conduct flagged anyway. No one could figure out. All they're saying is, he was talking. I didn't know talking gets you flagged these days, especially when the other person is putting their hands in your face and you want to flag Chauncey, So I think him getting ejected, BS call. Don't know what the refs were on with that. But everything else, I think, is on the team, And a lot of people were thinking that some of the flags that were getting called on us weren't the best. And, you know, Commander fans felt the same way when it came to some of those DPIs on AJ Brown. But to me, it's like, this team just needs to be more disciplined. Because why? Why is Jalen Carter pushing a lineman down after a big time stop? You know, I believe, was it Nolan Smith or no? I think Joshua. I think it was Nolan Smith. One of them got like a big old stop, and then Jalen Carter's pushing the lineman down after the play, and it's like, dude, you just got the big stop. Why do you think you're gonna get away with that? Why are you even doing that? You're just giving them free yardage. Why are you doing that? They had that too many men penalty on the field. You know, too many men on the field. It leads to a big touchdown play. Mistakes like that are going to cost you. And I've been saying these past couple games that they need to be more disciplined, and yet, you know, they're still making it. You know, like Jalen Carter, it's frustrating. You know, because it's like you appreciate that sort of energy that he brings. You appreciate that aggressiveness, but he needs to get it through that. He needs to dial it down at times. Because again, it's like, my dad and I watched that. It's like, dude, you got a big time stop. Why are you pushing that lineman down? You know, like, I get it. It's things were getting heated. This is a close game. You know, it's a division rival, but it's like, you can't be making mistakes like this, because it's going to cost you. All those penalties that they got and all that free yardage is going to add up, you know. But I will say, I'm thankful to get a loss like this out of the way now, so that they can really learn from it right before they get to the playoffs, you know. And with Jalen's concussion, you know, you're just hoping it's nothing too serious. He can be back by next game. But I think the main thing to take away from that concussion, I don't think we see Saquon play that final game in New York. I think seeing your quarterback go down like that and having him have to stay out of a game and then end up losing that game is going to really worry this team, to the point where, I don't know, I don't think we see a lot of the starters playing that final New York game, because now with, you know, playoffs coming up, I just don't think we see Saquon especially play that final game. Would it be poetic to see him break the record in New York? Yeah, but I don't know. I just have a feeling like after that, I don't think they want to take any risks losing any big players right before playoff time, you know. You saw a couple of guys go out this game and didn't come back, you know, so it's like, I just think they're going to play it safe, you know, even if these guys it was only that game that they went out, or maybe a drive or two. I just don't think they take that risk. But overall, very disappointing this loss, but hope they can do better. They got Dallas next and New York, both at home. Should be fun games. Should be very interesting games. I think they still win both. And that would put them at what, 14? Is that 14-4? No, 14-3. Yeah. I think they win both games. Only, like, the way I say it every year, the only way they lose that final game is if they're sitting their starters for playoffs, you know. But as far as the Dallas game, I think they have it. Dallas has kind of been playing a bit better as of late. They're on a 2-game win streak, but, you know, I don't know. I think we could still get out of there with the win, especially if Jalen plays. But that's all I have to say for the Eagles. Moving on to our other Philadelphia teams. You know, got a lot, not necessarily a lot to talk about, but just I felt was more important in a way. First off, that Sixers win last night, man, that was incredible. Pretty insane win. Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond basically decided that they wanted to follow this trend of the Philadelphia athletes getting ejected, because Embiid got ejected and I believe Andre Drummond got ejected as well. Pretty crazy stuff. Embiid was very livid with the fact that he got ejected, but you know, that put a lot of pressure on the rest of the team. And, you know, they came through. Yeah, I think Andre Drummond also got ejected. I can't remember. Because I think I remember him saying something, but yeah, Drummond got ejected. Wait, no, did he? No, I don't think he did. I think they were going to eject him, and then they rescinded it, I believe. I don't remember for sure. All I know is Embiid got ejected for sure. That's the one I remember for sure. But the rest of the team comes through. Maxey, PG, Yabu especially are the three to shout out in this game. Great game from Yabu, +7. in the plus minus, 17 points, a block, 4 steals for Yabu, 4 total rebounds, 3 from 5, 3 for 5 from 3-point line, real great stuff. Maxey, 32 points, PG, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists from Tyrese Maxey, and 3 steals. The 10 rebounds really threw me off. I was like, wow, Maxey got a lot of rebounds this game. But yeah, wanted to shout out that game because they came through. Maxey was especially clutch. That I need to go back and watch it. I don't know if it was a layup or if he actually got the dunk in because there was a defender right in his face, but that play was cold. The dagger on, I think it was Sochan, was crazy. Really happy with that win. Obviously, other news is that Jared McCain got surgery. They still have him listed as indefinite, but more than likely he misses the season, which really sucks. But hey, 10-17, the Sixers kind of fighting their way back. Just hoping for that they could really ramp things up. They got Boston next, which is going to be a real tough one. But Boston on Christmas. That should be an interesting matchup. And of course, we move to the final portion. Probably the most important stuff because it deals with free agency. We got the Phillies making a couple of moves. They signed Max Kepler. They traded for Jesus Luzardo. They signed Joe Ross from the Brewers. So let's dive into each of these individually. So let's start off with the Joe Ross one because I know that one kind of seems kind of random if you don't know, but Joe Ross is coming over from the Brewers, I believe, and so I heard that they used him a lot in the bullpen. He had a 3.77 ERA and 74 innings pitched for the Brewers. He can start and also be a long reliever type of deal. I look at him as maybe this year's Spencer Turnbull, a guy who can maybe be a spot starter, can give you innings in the bullpen. So I think it should be interesting. I think it'll be an interesting sort of signing. I'm interested to see how they utilize him, more than likely in that bullpen, obviously, but it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Max Kepler, this is the signing that kind of confuses me. Injury prone, I believe, because he was pretty much injured for a good portion of last season. Also, the thing that confuses me is that he's a lefty, and we already kind of have a lefty heavy lineup, so I'm very confused by that sort of signing. Just, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, the main thing that people point to is his 2023 was actually, kind of a decent year for him. 22 doubles, 24 home runs, 260 batting average, 120 OPS plus. Obviously, the other one that people point to is his 2019 season where he had a 123 OPS plus. He was batting 252, 36 home runs, 90 RBIs, 32 doubles, But then you also look at last season where he was kind of dealing with injuries. Other years where he wasn't as great, But I don't know. I think it's a good signing, but it's just kind of confusing to me given the fact that he's another lefty, and I don't know. I'm just kind of confused on. He's going to be the everyday left baseman, is what they came out and said. Left baseman. What am I saying? Left fielder. But I don't know. I'm just kind of confused by this one because it's another lefty hasn't logged. Hasn't logged any time in left field in his major league career, I believe. I don't know. Really, really thrown off by this one. But, I don't know. Just got to give it time. Kind of confusing, but, it could work out. It's only a 1-year deal. Nothing too much to worry about. And then the big one was the Jesus Luzardo trade. I am very interested in this one. It gives them a really great rotation of Wheeler, Nola, Ranger, Sanchez, and now Jesus Luzardo. He's had some great stuff, Last year didn't play as much and didn't look as great, but the previous 2 years is where he looked best. 2022, 3.32 ERA and 18 starts, 100 innings thrown. The year before, in 2023, 3.58 ERA and 32 starts through 178.2 innings. Did let up a lot of home runs, but got a lot of strikeouts, and that's kind of what, like, my friend was telling me, was like, he just needs to kind of keep the home run numbers down and he'll be good. I mean, in 2022, yeah, it was less starts, but he only let up 10 home runs, so a lot, like, kind of similar to Aaron Nola in the sense of, like, if he keeps those home run numbers down, he'll probably be really good. But yeah, he makes this rotation pretty great. And to me, when the trade happened and I saw he was a lefty, so I was like, man, how are they gonna make this work? Because to me, I told my dad, maybe in my eyes, I'm thinking they do a Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo, Ranger, whoever gets whatever spot. I don't know what the rotation looks like, but the only reason I'm thinking that one of those guys slots in above Nola is just so that you can create a bit of separation, so that you're not having 3 straight lefties at the end of your rotation. But also, when I saw that he was a lefty, I told my dad this. I was like, I'm happy with the trade, but it's also pretty telling that they go and trade for a lefty with some team control. Like, I think he still has 2 years left of team control, if I remember correctly. But the reason I bring that up, more than likely, this is kind of a sign of things to come, that Ranger Suarez more than likely isn't coming back. That's just the way I feel about it, because I don't know, man. You're going out and trading for a lefty with team control. Rangers in the last year of team control is going to be a free agent, has Scott Boras as his agent. To me, that I think that more than signals that they haven't been able to get an extension done. He's more than likely going to test free agency, and this is their insurance plan if he leaves, But hey, I still appreciate them going out and getting such a big arm to help out their rotation. They really solidified this rotation. I really like the trade. They gave up Starling Caba in it, but you'll take that. Hopefully, Luzardo can do pretty well, have a bounce back. But I mean, I like the trade. I like some of the signings. Only thing I don't like is that Dave is out here saying that they're more than likely done. And I think I saw somewhere that they said that they're out on Hoffman potentially, which kind of hurts to hear, because it's like, I'm not too confident in our bullpen right now. Who is our closer? Are we really going to rely on Jose Alvarado to be our closer? Are we relying on Matt Strom? Ryan Kirkring? Who's going to be the closer? Who are going to be the big names in this bullpen? I don't know. I don't know how you don't at least try and bring back Hoffman or Estevez, one of the two. Try for Tanner Scott, maybe. I know they have a lot of lefties in the bullpen, but I don't know. Not very happy to hear Dave saying that, but who knows? Maybe they make a couple more moves, but if this is it, I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about this team on paper. Also, how are things going to play out with Alec Bohm after you've been shopping him this entire winter? I don't know. But to end on a more positive note, we did get an update on Andrew Painter. He's going to be throwing, but not pitching during spring training. Probably just, getting practice with the catchers and all that. And they said that they want to start him off in the minors, obviously, which makes sense. They're going to have him pitch there, and they're going to save some of his best innings for the major league. They're more than likely going to call him up. Probably not even after the All-Star break, maybe after a trade deadline. I don't know. They may call him up probably like in August, come August or September, because they want to save his best innings for that last stretch of the season. So got something to look forward to. But overall, that's what's going on in Philly. Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to you all. Look forward to next week when hopefully the Eagles beat Dallas, and hopefully some more news coming out of the Phillies, because I just don't think this is where they should stop, But overall, having a fun old time watching these Philadelphia sports. even through all the tragic losses like this Commanders. Oh my gosh. I wish y'all could have seen how frustrated my dad and I were after this loss. And there was also that guy that like called into that radio station so frustrated, hilarious. But overall, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.